Rachel Jordan, and welcome to the first episode of College Confidential. Now, some of you probably recognize me from the Massey music show, which comes on the third Monday and the fourth Tuesday of every month, and now you can catch me here on College Confidential, the second Wednesday of every month at 9:45. Now, college often gets the reputation of being the best time of a person's life, and while it definitely has its perks, like $2 sushi nights in practically all college town, it's not all rainbows and sunshine either. Because what the movies forget to tell you is that the main reason you're there, the whole purpose of going, is to go to class. Not to go to parties, but to go to class. And not to sleep or spend the hour on Pinterest, but actually learn something. Because when you're in high school, you might not care that much, but when you have $100,000 in debt waiting on you as a graduation present, you might want to try and get good grades and get a decent job once you're done. And that's not to say there's no fun to be had, because that's definitely not true. There's tons of ways to get involved on campus, and of course the occasional free t-shirt and free food, because what do college students love more than free stuff? Practically nothing. So on College Confidential, you'll learn all about every aspect of college life, including Greek life, clubs, organizations, working on campus, dining hall food, and of course that crazy scary roommate everyone's worried of having their freshman year of college. So tonight on College Confidential, our guests will be a third-year aerospace engineering student from Georgia Tech named Brittany Walters, and Brittany Bose, a third-year advertising major from the University of Georgia. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Calvary Gutter Services, LLC provides quality service to our customers. We are committed to excellence and offer a 2-year warranty on all workmanship and a lifetime clog-free warranty on all gutter cover systems. We are fully insured for your protection. We are experts in copper and half-round gutter systems, which are offered in sizes ranging from 6 inches to 8 inches. Full soffit and fascia systems can be replaced as we install gutters to avoid wood rot and ensure a job well done. We proudly offer Magnolia underdeck systems. We ensure that you are happy with the service we provide. If you need a pro, call us 678-389-7945. That's 678-389-7945. Calvary Gutter Services. Find us on the web at www.gutteratlanta.org.
All right, and as I said, our first guest is Brittany Walters. Brittany, come on up. She's a third-year aerospace engineering major at Georgia Tech. Brittany, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Good. So you're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Correct.
How did you end up at Georgia Tech for college?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be an aerospace engineer before I even started to look at colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So I just basically Googled top aerospace engineering schools, and of course Georgia Tech was high on the list. So I was like, sure, I'll apply. So I did, and then once I visited the campus, I was like, man, I have to go here. So that's how I chose.
Nice. And so I know aside from going somewhere totally different for college, you got to college and just kind of picked up a whole new slew of hobbies that you never even had before. So growing up in high school, you did competitive swimming, and then you came, I guess it was at orientation at the activities fair, you saw the fencing club, and so now you've been fencing for 3 years. So why did you decide to join fencing?
Well, so whenever I was swimming, there used to be a state competition in Pennsylvania called the Keystone State Games, kind of like the Georgia Games. And so I always went for swimming, and then during registration, whenever you were there, they had fencing in the background, and I was like, that always looks interesting, but I never, found anything in Pennsylvania to do it. Yeah. So when I heard that Georgia Tech had a club that I could join, and I didn't need any experience whatsoever, I was like, yes, so I signed up for it.
Nice. So what other hobbies have you picked up since you've been there?
Well, I did a lot of hiking. I can't anymore because I don't have a car, but I enjoy hiking. I also do scuba diving. I picked it up last year, I think. I got certified, and it's really fun. I love going into the ocean. I actually used to be terrified of the ocean.
Really?
The first time that I went there, I nearly died because I was panicking so bad. But now that I'm certified, I see the ocean as a whole new world, basically, and it's really fun.
Yeah, that's great. So I know, being a Georgia Tech student myself, our gender ratio is not the greatest. It's about 60% male, 40% female. So I know a lot of people ask you, do you ever even notice? Because I know sometimes it feels like it's really noticeable and sometimes it don't. So especially as an engineering major, Do you ever notice that in your classes?
Yeah, actually on the first day of every class, I always count to see how many girls come in.
Really?
And it's not very many.
How many this semester?
Actually, it's funny because there's less I'm the only female in my history of Russia class, but in my actual aerospace engineering classes, there's like 5, which is a decent amount.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's been worse, I'm sure.
Oh,
But
yeah, definitely.
speaking of Russia, again, new experiences, came to college, decided to take Russian as a foreign language, which sounds totally random, but her dad speaks Russian.
Yeah.
So, and you got a chance to go there last summer, but it was kind of an interesting trip in that they had a lot of political unrest, so you ended up doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
So what happened with that?
Well, most of our class that was going on this trip was affiliated with, like, ROTC and military and stuff. And so we couldn't go to Russia anymore because of what was going on with them. So they moved the entire trip to Lithuania. But I did get to go to Russia for a whole week, so that was really awesome because, you know, speaking Russian to actually put it into practice. Because when we were in Lithuania, they really did not appreciate us speaking Russian because they don't really speak Russian themselves. And they always preferred us to speak English because our Russian wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to practice much except with our families at home and our classes. But when we were in Russia, like, everyone there speaks Russian, so being able to do it, like, at restaurants and just in public in general was pretty fun.
Yeah. So how was staying with your host family in Russia and Lithuania? They didn't speak any English, right?
No, actually...
They did a little?
My host mom's son did speak English, which
Okay.
actually helped a lot, because
Yeah.
sometimes I really would not understand what she was saying. But, yeah, it was interesting at first, because I was only at, like, intermediate proficiency, so it took a while to adjust. But just the cultural differences were interesting to get used to. Like, my host mom was giving me, like, 3 plates of food at dinner, and she expected me to eat all of it, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to realize what was going on.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, one last question. If you could give any piece of advice to someone who is starting their freshman year of college this year, or in their freshman year of college, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to study hard, but also don't overstudy, because I can still have lots of fun and I still do pretty well in school. So I learned to, like, balance fun and school at the same time.
Even with a few all-nighters tied in there?
Oh, all-nighters are nothing.
Maybe for you, I can't do them. But, all right, thank you, Brittany. We'll be right back after a short commercial.
Are you looking for a great night out? Are you in the Atlanta, Georgia area? Are you looking to check out some live, awesome music during the week? They have keynote, poker tournaments, horseshoes, and special events. It's all at the Moon Shadow Tavern. That's at 3976 Lawrenceville Highway in Tucker, Georgia. That's the Moon Shadow Tavern. Give them a call, 770-674-2133. Check out their selection of great food, friendly service. Visit their website at msttucker.com. That's www.msttucker.com. Moon Shadow Tavern is a proud sponsor of the Massey WebTV music show on www.americanheartsradio.com. Make sure you told them that American Hearts Radio sent you. Visit their website, check out their great selection of food, appetizers, wings, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, steaks and chicken, salads and sides. Also their drink specials. Live music during the week. Check them out. Give them a call, 770-674-2133.
Alright, so next on the show we're going to do a little segment called The Wacky News, and we're all guilty of scrolling through Facebook, finding those random news stories with the weirdest titles, and you click on them just out of curiosity and you're never quite sure what you're going to find. Well, we've compiled a few for you tonight just for a little comedic entertainment. So, our first is titled, Meet the Woman Who's Been Happily Married to 2 Cats for More Than a Decade. So it's her 10-year anniversary after marrying both her cats. After a breakup with a long-term human companion, the woman realized the kitties were her soulmates. So she ordered a marriage certificate from a website that facilitates interspecies nuptials. She says she knows many devoted cat lovers who treat their cats exactly the same way she does, which is spoiling them rotten, but they wouldn't go as far as marrying them. She says she's a bit eccentric, but definitely not a typical cat lady. So one thing I want to point out about this particular article is that she does have a third cat that she's not married to. Which is a little bit interesting. Why pick the two and not the other? I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little bizarre. The next story is titled, Illinois Man Discovers 51-Year-Old Turn Signal Lever in His Arm. So he went to the hospital because he was complaining of arm pain, and they found a 7-inch turn signal lever that had been there for 51 years after his car accident in his Ford Thunderbird in 1963. It had apparently been embedded without him realizing it. And now, I can understand the part where in the car accident, maybe he didn't realize, it happened so fast, but the fact that he went through 51 years of his life and never had a single medical imaging done of any kind that would reveal the fact that he had 7 inches of metal in his arm, or maybe a metal detector didn't even pick that up, I mean, that's pretty incredible. So next, a Dutchman tries to pop the question to his girlfriend and ends up destroying his neighbor's house. In the Netherlands, a Dutchman became a homewrecker, literally, when a crane he was using to have himself lowered into his girlfriend's garden for a marriage proposal fell through the neighbor's roof. During the attempt to right the situation, the crane unfortunately slipped and fell onto the house a second time. The would-be fiancé jumped to safety and no one else was hurt. Despite the fiasco, the girlfriend accepted the marriage proposal, and the couple has now gone on holiday. So imagine that. You completely destroy your neighbor's house. They're not quite sure if the whole thing has to be demolished, and you just leave on your vacation to Paris, totally leisure vacation after you completely just destroyed half your neighborhood. And our final story, and probably one of the stupidest, is titled, There Are Things You Should Not Do When Drinking, Driving, Flying a Plane, and Operating Heavy Machinery. You can now add to that opening your next beer with a chainsaw. But that's not stopping the geniuses on the internet and the internet trend of people opening beers with chainsaws and then proceeding to drink them. So the Queensland Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry in Australia, where the particular video listed in the article was taken, have a whole web page dedicated to the dangers of chainsaw use. Although opening beers while drunk might not make it in there, one would hope common sense prevails, and unfortunately it doesn't, since there are people making these videos all over the internet. And I have to say, I don't know which position is worse, the guy with the chainsaw or the guy holding the beer, because, I mean, either one, it's a pretty serious situation. Someone could definitely get hurt here, and I don't know about you, but the last thing I want to see when I go into a bar is the bartender back there with the chainsaw opening up everyone's beers. So we'll be right back with our second guest after this commercial.
Scottdale Metal Products, your family-owned and operated gutter supply house since 1971. Wholesale prices are available to the public and we offer worldwide shipping. See our full catalog: gutters and coil, downspout, elbows, end caps and miters, outlets, debris protection, hangers K-style, hangers half-round, and many other accessories. Look us up on the web at scottdalemetal.net. That's scottdalemetal.net. Give us a call at 770-922-1330. That's 770-922-1330. Scottdale Metal Products Incorporated, 1520 Parker Road Southeast, Conyers, Georgia, 30094. Scottdale Metal Products is a proud sponsor of the Chris Massey WebTV music show on AmericanHorseRadio.com.
All right, our next guest will be Brittany Bose. Brittany, come on up. She's a third-year advertising major at the University of Georgia. Brittany, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, when you were in high school, where did you think that you wanted to go to college?
Well, I knew I wanted to go to UGA, but I knew it was super hard to get in, and I applied when as a freshman, and I didn't get in for my fall semester, but I did get in for spring. But I just thought, since I already got into GCSU and I moved in and everything, I didn't want to, get up and move after I'd settled in and got comfortable and made friends and everything. So I just decided to wait 2 years, and I'm here now, and I just got over with my first semester, and I really like it. So
that's nice. So do you think it was a good decision to just go ahead and stay at GCSU while you were there? And enjoy the friends that you had made, and because that's a nice. I have other friends that go there. It's a nice small little college town. So you enjoyed your experience there?
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, it was definitely a good decision to move schools because I really like UGA, but I really liked it. I made a lot of friends, and I think it's good to get used to like college life at a small school and then kind of transfer over to a big school. So.
Right. And so you were involved in Greek life at GCSU, right?
Yes, I was. I was a Zeta there for 2 years, and it was a really good experience. There's a lot of opportunities to like meet people and like get involved on campus, and there were like leadership opportunities too. I was involved in the sponsorship committee, which basically I just collected sponsors and funds for the annual breast cancer 5K race that we have every year, and then I was activities chair for a year, and my job was to just make sure that like everybody in the sorority was involved into other activities outside of Zeta. So it was like really good. You know, you got some leadership and like social things were good, and I would have reaffiliated at UGA, but it's just so expensive. So
that was gonna be my next question. Why didn't you? Because that is something you can I guess I don't know what you would call it, like transfer your membership or do something like that.
Yeah, you can definitely reaffiliate. It's kind of a hard process at UGA. Like you kind of have to, you know, meet all the people and like when people transfer to GCSU, like, they kind of just, like, say, okay, well, here's this person, raise your hand if you want to accept them. But at UGA, like, it's kind of different. And I just thought I'd rather be in clubs where I could get kind of involved with my major more.
So how has it been different going to a huge state school like UGA versus your small town GCSU?
It's really different, and this sounds really ironic, but I'm really bad with directions. Like, it's really sad how bad I am with directions. And I actually got more lost in Milledgeville than I had in Athens. Yeah, and it's weird because, like, I thought I was going to be so intimidated and, like, have a really hard time adjusting. But I think it's because all my classes are, like, on one part of campus. So it's easy for me to get to them. And it's not really that much different. Like, if I really had to expand and go to every part of campus, I probably would have a hard time, but it hasn't been bad, and I've adjusted really well, so that's awesome.
Nice. So speaking of classes, did you have difficulty when you transferred schools transferring your class credits? Because I know some people, when that happens, they end up with like 12 credits that apply to absolutely nothing, and it's like wasted time and wasted money.
Yeah, well, that does happen unless, like, at GCSU, if you just complete your core, they kind of take it as, like, a bundle, if you could say. Like, they don't have, like, every separate class doesn't transfer, but if you complete it, they, like, kind of take it as a bundle, and they can apply, like, certain classes you took at GCSU to fit in with other required classes at UGA, but that's only if you have your core complete, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like, football season in Athens is obviously very huge. So what's Saturday like in Athens on a game day?
It's really crazy. You know, the day, if it's an early game, the day starts at like 7 a.m. and it just goes on till like 2 a.m. the next day. And it's always crazy and it's really fun. And, like, I don't know too much about football, but I have a lot of school spirit and I always have fun.
It's so fun
games.
to go.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really like it. So.
So what would you say, because I know this year, and of course I go to Georgia Tech since I'm going to bring this up.
Yeah.
So Georgia Tech beat Georgia, and it's a really big rivalry, good old-fashioned hate, as they call it.
Yeah.
For the first time since 2008, so what was that like? Because I know it happens over break, so you don't get, like, the immediate reaction from, like, the student body, but what was it like going back to school after that?
Well, I know all my roommates were really upset about it, and I didn't end up going to the game. I was going to, but I think everyone was just in shock because, like, I remember, like, my roommate's boyfriend goes to Tech, and, like, he was really excited about the game, and she was like, I don't know why, like, it's not going to be, like, we're obviously going to win. I don't know why you want to watch it, like, and it was just, I think everyone was, like, really taken by surprise. Cause, no offense, I'm not saying you guys are terrible
trust
or anything.
me. I was a little taken by surprise myself, but I don't know. That's what makes it a rivalry. Sometimes we win and sometimes you win, although it's been a little lopsided, but not the most lopsided rivalries in football history, which is really what's important. So we talked about your involvement in Greek life, so what other things do you do on campus?
Well, I'm starting to do more things like pertaining to advertising, and I just declared advertising as my major when I got here. So I'm in ad club, and it's basically like they have guest speakers every Tuesday, and like it's just people, you know, it helps you network and learn about different opportunities out there. And I went on an agency tour in Atlanta in November, and I just got to go to like 4 different agencies and just shadow and like kind of like take a tour of the offices and stuff, and it was really fun. And then I'm in a mentorship program for Ad Club as well, and it's basically just, you know, there's like my mentor is a sales director at Radio 1, which is in downtown Atlanta. And so he just kind of like helps me network and like gives me advice for like resume stuff. And I shadowed his office over Christmas break, and it was really nice. And yeah, and then I write for the magazine, the campus magazine at UGA. It's called Agazine, and it's really not. I mean, there's only 4 issues released a year, like two per semester. So I've only done 2 issues so far, and then we have another one coming up in the next couple of months. So it's really fun. Like, there's a lot more opportunities at UGA to get involved with things you want to get involved with, and there's more networking opportunities and that they didn't have at GCSU. So it's a good experience so far.
Nice. So, same question that I asked Brittany earlier. If you could give advice to one freshman student that they're a freshman this year or they're going to be a freshman next year, what would you tell them?
Go to class. Actually,
go to class?
Yeah, just like you said earlier, like, actually go to class. Because, like, I mean, I did well my freshman year, but, like, I just, you know, sometimes I would not focus as much as I should have on school and skip class a lot. And
especially if it's a core class like history, where it's like you don't need it for anything but to graduate, and just like, I don't really want to go to that class.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You should still go to
even
that
if
class.
Attendance isn't required, like, you should still go, because
which is actually one of the biggest lies someone ever told me about college, is that they don't care if you go to class. A lot of professors care if you go to class.
Yeah, they
take the time to take attendance.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's really annoying.
I would just find a good balance, like Brittany said. Just make sure you study and go to class, but also make time for, you know, making friends and having fun and everything.
Yeah, of course. All right, we're going to take another commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris Massey from The Chris Massey Show. You know, one of my favorite places to hang out, eat, and play music is the Moonshadow Tavern in Tucker, Georgia. Moonshadow Tavern, they got great food, great drink, and great live music 5 nights a week. Right now at the Moonshadow Saloon, you can go and get 5 appetizers for $5 each. That's right, 5 appetizers for $25. So just go down there and get them. Hell, those appetizers, man, that's a whole meal in itself.
All right, I'd like to thank my guest, Brittany Burrows.
Hey, man.
What are you doing here?
Oh man, I was just in the neighborhood, man, so I thought I'd come by and see how you were doing on your show.
Well, you know, it's been pretty good actually, so thanks for stopping by.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you don't care if I can stop by any time? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said. I said thanks for stopping by this one time.
Oh, just this one time?
Just this one time.
Well, I wanted to bring up to you, you know, Michael Oye called me from the network, and he was saying that since you're doing your own show now, it's my understanding that you're not doing the Monday show on the Chris Massey Show, you're just doing the 4th Tuesday.
That's right.
Well, that means that I'm only on the Chris Massey Show once a month now. And that's not cool. So I was thinking that maybe I could be on your show, and in that way I can still be on TV, you know, 2 times a month.
Well, you know, Leon, this show is about college. Did you even go to college?
Well, no, but in 1979 I was a roadie for the Doobie Brothers, and we played a lot of colleges.
That does not count. You have to actually go to college to be on the
Well,
show.
when we were mingling with the students, man, there were even some teachers there, you know, and they were doing, and they were hanging out with us in the back doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing, man, if you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'm not going to say what school it was, you know, but it's in South Carolina. So, anyway.
I'm sorry, Leon, you know, that just doesn't count. But I'll tell you what, to make it up for the fact that you're not going to get to be on the show twice a month anymore, I'll let you do the first closing of this show.
First closing of this show?
First closing of this show, you can do it. Just try not to be too bitter about the fact that you're only on here once a month now.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll do it. Thank you for watching College Confidential with Rachel Jordon. She would like to thank her guests, Brittany Walters and Brittany Bowes, and she will be back in February. You have that date in February you'll be back?
I don't, but it's the second Wednesday.
On the second Wednesday, and I know you're going to have some guests lined up. Do you have those now?
They'll be announced.
Okay, cool. All right. So it's been a great first show, Rachel. You did really good. You must have really been watching all the pointers I was giving you when we were working together on the Chris Massey show.
That's exactly what happened.
All right. Stay tuned on the American Hearts Radio Network. Coming up next is Animal House, starring the great late John Belushi. All together, we'll see you next time.